What is happening, guys? Right here again with the Club Global, teaching men around the world to be men of the world. And today, we're going to talk about money. And why it is that we suck with money so much, and how to get better with money. I want to preface this video by first and foremost saying, many of you folks who are going to watch this video with your arms crossed, being like, oh yeah, this guy with a silver spoon in his mouth. I did not come from money. I came from a very humble, lower middle class, single parent household. My father worked construction his whole life. He afforded me a childhood, all right? I had a roof over my head, I had clothes on my back, I had warm food on my plate. But let's just say we were going to the Hamptons every summer, all right? My dad never owned a brand new car in his life. So with that said, let's talk about personal finance. First off, one reason why we suck with it. So as I mentioned before, my father didn't make a ton of money. Made enough to give me a good life. But I imagine a lot of kids grew up in a similar situation that I did. Single parent household, parents weren't too great with money. They lived paycheck to paycheck, similar to how we might live now. And that's the financial intelligence that we got passed down to us. All right? They didn't know a ton, and we don't know a ton. So how do we fix that? How do we get better with money? Well, we're going to change our spending habits. We're going to think differently about money. A lot of millennials are very wasteful. We spend our money on conveniences, okay? We buy takeout, all right? We pay for too expensive apartments. We pay for overpriced used cars, all right? We buy too much shit. We spend tons of money on streaming services and this and that. Stuff that we don't need to be wasting our money on, okay? A lot of people complain on social media about how our generation is just plagued with wage stagnation and how, how are we gonna make ends meet? Our generation is totally screwed by the generation before us. We aren't making enough money. This goes back to a similar video about self-sufficiency where I talked about how you can't control anybody else. All you can control is yourself. So blaming the world around you for your problems is not gonna help you. Find a way to fix your problems yourself and don't worry about the stuff you can't control. I'm going to tell you that you can make enough money to survive just fine. A lot of you watching this video might have the mindset that, oh, if I just made X amount more every year, I would be doing better. I'd be able to afford all my stuff, buy a house, buy a better car, move somewhere better, whatever it is that you want to do. Making six figures would afford that for me or whatever. Telling you that's not the case, all right? If you have shitty spending habits, if you make more money, those shitty habits are just gonna be bigger. You're just gonna waste more money on bigger, dumber shit. I see it all the time. I know folks who make plenty of money, and they still live paycheck to paycheck. People who are, working in upper middle class jobs, who are making mid six figures, who still live paycheck to paycheck because they have a really expensive house, really expensive cars, they have really expensive hobbies, they travel all the time and dine out all the time and spend way too much money on dumb shit just like you do. It just is more and bigger, so they're still broke. Don't be that way. You have to live below your means. So how do we do that? How do we live below our means? Change our spending habits. Let's say you're making, 30 to 40 grand a year. You can live great on that. I know people who made that much and they saved like 50% of their income. All right? Live with roommates. You eat ramen and tuna fish for lunch and dinner every day. So you're saving money on groceries. You cut down on your bills, all right? Maybe you cut off some of those streaming services. You hunt around for better car insurance. Or if you live in the city, you don't have a car at all. You get rid of it and you just take public transportation. You buy a bicycle, all right? You live in a cheaper place. Maybe you have roommates, so your living expenses are way less. These are all perfect solutions to lower your monthly notes you gotta pay on. Maybe you got some debt. Get rid of that debt. Make that your financial priority. So any extra money you don't have to spend every month goes towards paying off your student loans, your credit cards, your car payment, all right? Paying off medical bills that you might have. Get rid of that stuff first. That's all. Think of it. Debt is just money you're giving to a bank. All those interest charges that you get, that's just free money you're giving to a bank because you borrowed money from them or whatever. Get rid of that stuff first. That's an emergency. Once you have paid off all your debts, what's next? Well, here comes one of the cruxes of this whole scenario. A lot of folks don't have clear financial goals, which is what really kills them. Maybe many of you watching this video have been really diligent at saving money in the past for 6 months at a time, right? Then at a certain point, something comes along that wipes out your savings and you say, screw it. You just stop saving and keep spending. Or you just spend it on something big and fun because you're like, I got $5,000 in my account. I'm going to buy this. And now you got a few $100 in there and you're discouraged and you're like, now I got to rebuild all that. Have savings goals. Paying off your debt is one of them. That is a great motivator to not spend so much and put extra towards your debt so you get that out of there. Once you have your debt paid off, what's your next savings goal? Have an emergency fund. So if you lose your job, you have some kind of problem, maybe you got to move across the country and take care of your sick mom or whatever. You need an emergency fund in case some unforeseen circumstances come up that you need to take money from. Optimally, 6 months to a year of expenses would be ideal. So that way, if you for some reason can't work or something crazy happens, you have up to a year of money saved up to help pay all your bills. Beyond that, man, you can save to achieve longer-term financial goals, which are very important. You have to have those longer-term goals. If you don't have those long-term goals, you're going to squander that money. You're going to end up spending it on stupid stuff because it's just sitting there and you're not doing anything. You don't have any plans with it. Have longer-term financial goals. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you want to buy a house, right? So you want to save up money for a down payment for that house. There's all kinds. Think of it this way. Those of you watching this video thinking you don't have enough money to do whatever it is you want to do or achieve certain things in life you want to achieve, if you had more money, what would you do? That's your financial goal, all right? Further on, think about retirement. At a certain point, you don't want to keep working your ass off for a living. You're going to be too old. You want to relax. I mean, for me personally, I don't want to work at all. All right? If I could retire right now and just have enough money saved up in the bank or whatever that I could pay my bills every single month and not have to work for anybody, that would be fantastic. All right? Have a goal for the future, and maybe you want to have a family. That's a savings goal. At some point, you're going to want to have enough to leave for your children, all right, as a legacy for when you pass on, to give them a little something, all right? These are all fantastic financial goals. So changing your spending habits, that's the big takeaway. Think differently about money. This is how rich folks get rich, all right? A lot of folks I see on the internet bitching about the top 1%, how they're these crooks and these thieves. They're not. They just know how to play the game. They are no different than somebody who's maybe a dude who's really good with picking up chicks, or a dude who's really good at playing Call of Duty, all right? They are a student of the game. They know how to play it. They know how to make it work for them. That's all it is. Money is just a game. Don't take it so crazy seriously. I mean, obviously, it's important, all right? Money can afford you comforts in life, and at a certain financial level, it awards you the hassle of, say, medical care, you know, having a roof over your head, having food to eat, things like that. But besides a very base level of needs, man, money is a game. Just learn how to play the game. All right? Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared about losing your job or this or that. All right? You need to make money work for you. And I'm getting into some more kind of abstract and tangible stuff that we'll talk about in a different video, all right, about having money work for you, investing, assets, things like that. But this video, I just want to focus on changing your financial habits and how to be better with money, how to save money, how to live below your means. That's the main underline of this video. Live below your means, all right? You want to spend less money than you make, so that every month you can pay that money towards debt, or you can put that money in the bank and have an emergency fund, or put that money into some kind of investment so you can do better shit with your life later on. All right, it's delayed gratification. That's the virtue that this habit, this whole thing instills, that you have to train yourself through this experience to cultivate. All right, is delayed gratification. All right, achieving a goal that takes a long time to build up. So that's the big takeaway here for personal finance. Okay, delayed gratification, live below your means, just be smart. All right, don't be woe is me, I don't make enough money to do anything. You do. I've seen plenty of people live on very little and still make gains, put money in the bank. They can do it, you can definitely do it. So with that, this is Ray from the Club Global, signing out.